Hello, 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 and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgobin, known as the Dream Decipherer, and this is Dream Your Life, Live Your Dream Live, where we talk about all things dreams. Now, today I'm going to be looking at dreams in terms of creativity and good mental health, and I'll break those up into two sections. But let me start my remarks by asking a couple of questions. The first is, what do Sir Paul McCartney and Keith Richards have in common, besides being world-renowned and successful recording artists? Well, how does that relate to dreams? Both of them credit some of their greatest hits as being the result of inspiration they received through their dreams, including the songs Yesterday by the Beatles and I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. So, and they're both well known for keeping recording equipment by their bedsides to be able to capture any inspiration that they may have. Now, let me ask you a second question. How many things that you know of that we use commonly every day or know about in our everyday lives that are the result of dreams? No idea? Well, let me give you a couple of examples. Google, number one, the double helix of DNA, Einstein's famous equation E equals mc squared, the novel Frankenstein, irons that we use to press our clothes. So that and many, many other things that have come to people and have been created by people as the result of dreams. And popular literature is full of examples of famous people who have used dreams to aid their creations, such as Billy Joel, the singer, the novelist Stephen King, who used his childhood dreams to create the book Salem's Lot, and Salvador Dali, the painter, who was so obsessed with the potentiality of his dreams that he would fall asleep with a spoon in his hand, and when the spoon would fall and wake him up, he would write down whatever images or write ideas about what images that came into his mind during his dreams, which is probably why they look so surrealistic. So I know for me, I personally created courses, even during the pandemic, as a result of dreams that I was having at that time. And while is very little scientific evidence to connect dreams and creativity, there's plenty, and I mean plenty, of anecdotal information around. Now, aside from indicating that dreams that ordinary people have can find creative solutions to the challenges and problems that crop up in their lives, they also can frame a situation or an issue that we're facing and actually point the way to a solution. So it suggests here that the dreams themselves are an aspect of the creative process. I mean, we daydream and come up with ideas. One famous author says that she would, the daydreaming that she would do when she was getting her hair done would turn into bestsellers. So my question to you here is what great idea might you be sitting on that you're not paying attention to because it was presented in a dream? Now, there is a professor at the Harvard Medical School who has been doing research into dreams, and he says that dreams actually mimic a critical stage of creativity because it allows for brainstorming to kind of sift through the different possibilities, or what psychoanalysts or psychotherapists like me would call free association, just random images and thoughts and coming up. And that kind of primes the pump, if you will, for creative solutions or creative ideas or new creations. Now, their research that was done at St. Bartholomew's Hospital and the Royal London Hospital shows or indicates how and why this may happen with regard to dream stimulating creativity. Some neuroimaging studies were done at the National Institute of Deafness and Communication Disorders, and essentially what they found was that the brain areas that are responsible for executive control, i.e. the critical part of ourselves that says that's right, that's not right, it evaluates things and makes logical decisions, are shut down temporarily. They're disconnected during dreaming because what happens is our senses and our emotions are able to come to the fore instead of being repressed by our critical mind, the part of us that is the bean counter that evaluates and makes decisions about things. So that, in combination with the fact that our short-term memory functions are also deactivated, means that while the emotional content of the images will remain, the waking context of that dream or what it's related to does not, because that's part of the higher function, the logical functioning of the brain. So what this means is that there's a new understanding of the connection between sleep and creativity because of this research, but that comes with a caveat. If you're not getting enough sleep, it will affect our capacity for creative thinking. I mean, think about it. When we're overtired, we can't even think how to do the simplest of tasks at times because we're not firing on all cylinders. So that creativity is a higher function, if you will, and that just gets repressed when we don't have the energy to be able to be creative and think along tangential lines. So that is what some of the research is saying about why we get ideas and creative ideas when we dream. But now we're going to turn our attention a bit to dreams as indicators of good mental health and emotional well-being. Now, the relationship between our dreams and our mental health and emotional health is a bit difficult or intricate. And studies have shown that the content of our dreams often will reflect our psychological well-being. So that people experiencing stress, anxiety, or depression may have more frequent and more marked nightmares. So that stress and anxiety that's not being expressed during the day comes surging up at night as nightmares. So, but there is growing evidence to indicate that there's a link between our mental state or emotional state and the type of dreams that we're having. These dreams could be serving as a window into this unconscious mind, and reflecting the inner turmoil, inner sensations, fears, anger, hurt, that the person is not expressing when they're awake. And it's always been my belief that if a person is not acknowledging their feelings when they're awake, they have a tendency to be presented to us in our dreams. And if we're repressing feelings of anxiety, of depression, of anger, of hurt, that's going to of necessity turn up in our dreams. So you could think of dreams as being a therapeutic mechanism, even our inner therapist, which helps us to process emotions and aids in our resilience on the psychological level. So this inner therapist of ours is framing the issue that we may be having, and not only framing that issue, but even pointing the way to a solution. Now, to give you an example, Carl Jung, the famous psychoanalyst, worked in a mental institution with mental patients as a psychiatrist. And what he finally came to realize is that listening to the patient's dreams was their way of their minds trying to reestablish balance and create psychological wholeness. And studies bear that out even today. There was a study that has been done at the University of Chicago with divorced women, and what they found was that the women who were dreaming about their exes or the aspects of the bad divorce they went through or their relationship actually recovered more quickly and better than the women who didn't dream or couldn't remember their dreams. So there is a psychological balance that is struck when we are paying attention to our dreams. So whatever we're not paying attention to when we're awake will come and face us in our dreams, as if to say, come on, get with it, pay attention to this because it's important. So our dreams, if you will, are a way of processing our emotions and help us to sort through and make sense of our experiences. So, I mean, think about it. If you've ever had a dream where you woke up feeling, you may not remember exactly what the dream was about, but you woke up feeling lighter, like, phew, that's better. That's a weight off my shoulders. Or the contrary, where your dreams or nightmares actually made you feel weighed down and oppressed in some way. So this is how dreams help to regulate and highlight the various emotions that we may be experiencing and not necessarily acknowledging. But there's a back and forth relationship between our dreams and our mental state. Stressful situations or anxiety can lead to unsettling dreams or nightmares, and while periods of happiness and relaxation, like going on a vacation or something, can result in more pleasant dreams taking place. And research is into this as showing that there's a real relationship between dreams and mental health. For example, studies that have been done looking at people suffering with depression often dream about have dreams reflecting their waking life, despair and hopelessness. It follows them into the dream, and it's as I always say, dreams are a call to action to get us to look at a situation and either shift our perspective of that situation or to take an actual concrete action. But similarly, people suffering from, say, anxiety disorders will often experience nightmares, which is, again, a reflection of the daily distress that they're not perhaps openly acknowledging, or they may not even be aware of these feelings. So, and there are dreams that can even point to specific mental health issues. For example, recurring nightmares with themes of traumatic events could suggest that someone is suffering from PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. And people with depression may frequently dream about loss of some kind, or being a failure, or feeling rejected, which mirrors their feelings of feeling worthless or just desolate when they're awake. So dreams can be a means of monitoring and improving our mental health if we pay attention to them. So the simple act of keeping a journal and jotting down one's dreams just as we wake up can help track changes in our emotional and mental states, and to identify recurring themes that may take place, and symbols. The more you become familiar with their dreams, the more that the mental shorthand of what particular symbols mean for you becomes clear. I've been keeping diaries since I was a little girl. I've been writing from a very young age, and I don't have all of those books, but for the last, I would say, 20 years, I do have a number of my diaries where, dreams, ideas for courses, things about relationships, all of these things have come up and have been recorded in my dreams. And I can see over time the progression of my life as I have progressed, if you will, through my dreams. So there's these patterns that we start to notice by recording our dreams on a regular basis can be potential ways of reflecting the shifts that are going on in our mental state, in our emotional state, and can even serve as early warning signs. For example, there's a growing evidence that there is a relationship between dreams of postmenopausal women or nightmares and developing the development of breast cancer going forward. And sometimes those dreams may occur years before anything is actually noticed on the physical level. So dreams can really be a prognosticator of any impending health issues long before they actually manifest on the physical level. So to promote dream awareness and understanding, it can actually contribute to our improved mental health, as well as greater creativity in both our personal and professional lives. So techniques like dream journaling or people sitting down together and discussing dreams, which happens in various cultures around the world, can actually help to foster more self-awareness and emotional understanding, emotional intelligence. So therapeutic approaches like working with a therapist around dreams is also a means to be able to aid individuals in coping with mental health challenges. And I use the example of Carl Jung. But when I work with clients, I pay great attention to their dreams, and almost invariably, their dreams are an indicator for me of the progress that we're making, or the lack of progress in some cases. So the dreamers are not just dreaming for themselves, they're dreaming for me as well, to clue me in on what kind of progress we're actually making. And sometimes, the dreams will basically say, you're off with the fairies, mate. You don't understand what's going on here at all. So dreams are really, as Freud said, the royal road to the unconscious, and the unconscious knows all about us, our hopes, our fears, our dreams, the things that scare us. So not tapping into that, we're really missing most of the picture, because the unconscious mind is this vast, deep ocean, and our conscious mind, the part that says, it's just this little cork floating on that vast ocean. So not paying attention to all of that information that's being gathered by the unconscious mind is really doing us a disservice, because what we don't pay attention to is what comes back and bites us on the butt. So what we ignore chases us, but what we look at actually goes away. And so I put the question to you once more. What are you missing out on by not paying attention to your dreams? What great idea, what business idea, what new relationship of whatever kind are you missing out on because you're not paying attention to your dreams? What potential health issue on an emotional or even physical level could you be missing out on because you're not paying attention to your dreams? So I leave that with you, and I thank you for watching and listening. And if you have a dream that you really feel that is niggling at you and you'd like to get an idea of what it's trying to tell you, get in contact. I offer a free initial consultation, and we can look at the dream together and find out what the message is for you. Thanks again for watching and listening. Have a great rest of the day and weekend, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.